maintenance guys and the guy running the hammer was over here looking at it, and they said it bloated seal because oil started coming out of here.
Was they running living piss out of it?
Yeah, yeah.
It's going to happen. You get this hot, and the seals we have, Tom, they're oil and pigmented. When you warm them up, they start leaking.
Yeah. Can you replace that
Yes,
seal?
yes,
That's a
we have seal
replaceable
kits.
Okay.
We
They
supply.
don't have any parts for this thing if something goes down, I think.
We have seal kits that we keep them on stock.
Okay.
Seal
And
kit's not that expensive.
Now, one thing that they noticed that it seems like they're starting to get some play in that you can lift this. I don't know if that's what I'm asking you if this is normal or not, but you can put a pry bar right there and lift that and probably get a good 15,000, 20,000.
It's just threading. Yeah, you're going to have a little bit of that, but it's not.
It's not an issue then. Okay.
No, it's what you got to work in the threads. We don't build these threads under 95%
I know
thread.
if you get that too tight, if you don't have some give there, it's gonna create a.
But what you want to do is when you get these, this is 100% in line. There's not a half a degree play. I mean, it's
That's the reason I'm making a bushing for mine is because it's so difficult to keep anything in line. And if I have a rubber connection there, a rubber boot, that gives you some some area of so it doesn't have to stay in line. And it's hard to do that, especially when you start replacing your slides and everything.
Well,
it's hard to.
I've never replaced a set of slides. Never once.
I know these old ones they got over here, they're all wore out.
We've never replaced a set of slides.
Yeah.
You lube this properly and you keep it adjusted. This is called a loose gib system. Loose fit gib system. It's not pressure, and there's a little slop in there. There's like a business card. You slop in there because you start using this heat. You start swelling that steel. It's got to go somewhere.
Right.
Get it too tight, and this is not die perfection by no means. This is not die perfection. You're not doing drop forging with these.
So what about the oil adjustment back there? Is it?
If you have too much oil, you can turn this down just a little bit. And it just changes a little at a time. If you run a little piss out of it, you're going to have to come look at my hammers. They're like, that's normal.
Because it stayed clean, and then all of a sudden.
Well, the seals broke in.
Yeah, okay. All right, so it's just now breaking in.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, you have dryers on this line?
They have a dryer back here at the compressor. They have
Okay,
a
you don't have a problem with oil coming through your compressor spitting oil through the system, do you?
You mean water?
No. A compressor, if your seals get loose in your compressor, in your actual compressor, they'll pass compressor oil through the lines. And if you get some of that, it'll trap in here and it has to puke somewhere. Because what you'll do, you put it, it'll end up on the bottom of the hill.
We don't have any oil coming through the lines.
Because if you do that coming in, you'll see, because you have top and bottom lines, and we've run into that one time. Guy had just a sloppy ass compressor. Kept oil in it, but the oil that kept leaking, it was going through the lines. It filled this up, and every once in a while it just run out of place to do it.
Did y'all machine an extra port on these things? Or
They're custom machined that way. These are custom built. These have got a double set of wear bands in. They've got wear bands. They've got a bronze bushing, and they've got a double set. These have got double pistons in them. They've got double wear bands, and they've got special what we call they bleed your oil, your rings.
Yeah.
When you warm them up, they bleed liquid. When they cool down,
because I was gonna. I just took that big piston out of that machine the other day, and I was gonna tell Rick, and I don't know if you're okay with this or not, but the big hammer that we're gonna fix, I was gonna recommend that he buy a cylinder from you.
Well, we supply those for that. We supply these sizes cylinders. Is what we do.
Okay, because that weighs 165 pounds.
So this is 155 pounds.
So it should handle an extra 10 pounds.
It'll handle another 20 pounds easy. I mean, that's not the issue.
Right. So, the reason why that is if we're going to use buy a cylinder to run that old
I'll show you 10 cylinders. It doesn't matter to me.
You'll have an extra cylinder on hand that's interchangeable.
Right. It doesn't bother me in the least.
Okay.
Now, this cylinder and this valve is, we went through a lot of pains to get these set up together. You know, all this is a unit. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not, you know, you can oversize you can get this huge valve and oversize this valving, you can oversize your cylinder, undersize.
Well,
We went through a lot, and believe it or not, Tom, these hoses, all this is put here, so these hoses are the right length.
right.
A half-inch hose makes all the difference in the
Well,
world to
I'm
speed.
aware of that. I've been playing with these.
Elbows, you
handles.
notice there's no elbows on here,
Mm-hmm.
or at least the amount of elbows I can get away with.
Yeah.
Elbows
That's
is drag.
That's why the one I got back then, I had the cylinder just shooting straight into there. And, I mean, the valve shooting straight into the cylinder. And so,
And watch your rubber hose, I noticed
Yeah.
you had your rubber neoprene hose on there.
mhm.
You run them with, especially old air to oil and your compressor
It
oil is
could
the worst
swell.
thing.
Yeah, it could,
Not only swell, but they start breaking off inside, and
Yeah.
pieces start plugging your valves.
yeah.
So if you start getting valve problem, first thing to do is check your hoses.
Well, the reason I went with an 8-inch stroke cylinder was because I'm building that machine to do one thing, and one thing is that's just to draw out long tapers. So I figured the shorter the stroke, and
As long as you get the power of that stroke.
it's got good power. I'd say it's hitting every bit as hard as this is. But I wanted to, I don't see the need of having an extra long stroke when we're just running, all we're doing is running tapers with
You got,
Yeah,
if it's
so-
a one committed, one machine, just make it fit
Yeah.
that machine.
I looked at that, I bought that cylinder on eBay for $100, and I looked at that thing for 3 days. Almost scared, playing with an 8-inch stroke just gets a little bit too touchy.
8-inch
Right.
stroke, you ought to have about 6.5 inches of usable space.
Right, and so
Because you can't bottom out top or bottom.
it took a lot of playing around with to get it to cycle right, but it's doing a good job. And if I were to build a hammer for myself and more usable things, I would, I'd go with about a 12-inch cylinder. It's a longer problem.
Well, you're looking at 15 years of prototyping. This
Yeah.
isn't the first hammer we built.
Oh, I'm
And-
aware of that. I'm
And,
aware of
and
that, yeah.
this is number way up in the thousands somewhere. And, I mean, we never give up. Never, if you look, if you had a list of all the hammers I built over the last years, every year you'd see changes. But now, even the hammer that's 3 or 4 years old in this, anything we've added, you can bring it up to it. You can always bring it up. It's not like a new pickup that this won't fit. They'll all fit.
You can tune it into
Yes.
new standards.
And there's a lot of people buy these, what we call an upgrade kit. They take an older hammer and make it this one.